sure if my co-host is going to join us. He keeps popping in and popping off, and if he's on his cell phone, I'll tease him for it later if he can hear me. But it doesn't work really well from a cell phone or an iPad, unfortunately. But I've also got with me George Bardisi, now with a beard. I think it's interesting at how quickly you grow a beard and a beautiful, beautiful fro. I'm not sure how that happened so quickly, but welcome to the
It's
party.
genetics.
I suppose. I suppose. And I also don't know how well fated a Sunday evening celebratory beer is going to go tonight, right? Like it's Sunday, everybody's traveling. Ian seems to be in the void here. But ultimately, I kind of just wanted to talk about where we are, see if we can get some last minute donations in, and really just kind of celebrate and maybe talk through this a little bit. And it'll just depend on how many people are here and how many people participate from the chat and want to chime in. So comments will be popped in. I can show those online here. I'm in my living room, so I've actually taken apart my entire desk and all the stuff that I have. Brandon, I actually talked about you the other day, buddy. It's funny. So I was there was a group of people I might be talking to that you were formerly affiliated with that has come up on my radar. I've been discussing things with in general in life, and I was like, "What about that Brandon guy?" Anyways, man, welcome to the party. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you so much, buddy. But so we made our goal, right? Like I was kind of waiting on Ian to be here to say we made our goal. When we started this out, and I'll kind of take us back through the journey of this a little bit. But oh, I've already frozen. Man, I look good frozen. It's good.
I mean, you could just leave it right there. We got you.
Yeah, but I that may turn into a lot of screenshots down the road. So I'll try to fix that if I can. Anyways, so we hit our goal. I guess I won't have video. I don't care. I don't even care. So let's get through this. But so we got a lot of comments. I'll go through in just a second. Yeah, thank you. So we hit our goal. Initial goal was to make the $100,000 mark, right? And George Bardisi actually closed that out for us with B-VoIP. He's a freaking rock star. I appreciate it. Same thing to
I
everybody
couldn't
else.
wait, by the way.
You
I saw you got close. I saw people jumping in there. I hit Ian up. I'm like, we can't go into IT Nation like we may hit the goal, right? Like we gotta hit the goal before we get there, right? So I was like, whatever it is, once you get here, let me know. And like rock on to everybody that jumped in there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. Like these things, I'm gonna book about this journey. I think down the road, it was a very fun experiment that turned into a lot of things that I thought were wrong. So, but yeah, you did help us crush the end of it. So this began actually years before Ian and Carrie kind of came into the picture about this. And so I'll actually give its complete homage because he may be watching. Tony Miller, if you're out there, chat if you could. But Tony Miller at Iconic, like 4 years ago, said, "Hey man, you need to shave your beard, bro." I said, "Well, I don't really want to shave my beard. I like it." He said, "Well, what would it take to shave it?" Me and the buddies are going to go together and get some money. Now, these are all executives, so you have to understand, like, them going together theoretically could come up with 10, 15 grand as a whim, maybe at the most, probably. And I said, "No, man, listen, I don't need the money. I'm good without it." Oh, there we go. We got somebody else popping in. I'll bring Matt up on screen. And I said, "Listen, I don't really need the money, but, listen, I'm out." And he goes, "Well, what about for charity?" And I was like, "Yeah, I suppose, but man, it'd have to be a big number." And I thought of the largest number that any idiot would pay for me to shave my beard. And I was like, it'd have to hit 100 grand. Like it would have to be that large. And he was like, yeah, nobody do that. Right? And so we kind of buried it. And then fast forward just a little bit, right? Fast forward about a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, 3 years now. And Carrie goes, "Hey, last year at IT Nation Secure," she goes, "Hey, Matt, got this cool Huntress logo. Why don't you shave your beard? We'll put like a logo in it or something next year." And I was like, again, I don't want to. What about for money? Again, I don't want to. What about charity? You bitch. And so, yes, she had me. And so we started on this path. And I'll go through all these comments in just a second, and then we'll let everybody else chime in. But for me, we went down this path of, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And it felt like it just dragged on forever because once I talked to my tax attorney, he said, "You can't take these funds and redistribute it." Why not? Well, because it won't be tax deductible for all of them. Oh, so I need an anchor charity. And so Mike was starting his charity, got his 501c3 done. And so I used him as the funds recipient and distributing point so that it could all be tax deductible for everyone that contributed, right? Anyways, fast forward. we've now hit it. That is a terrible freezing point. Like I'm just gonna probably switch to the laptop camera, if I'm honest. But
I got
anyway,
the good.
short. But short story is, and then we'll go to comments and you guys can chime in. Is that we've done it? We've raised $20,000 for 5 charities. The distribution is in process. We've then picked 4 more charities that have now received $5,000, and those are all distributing today and tomorrow. GoFundMe has been probably one of the most challenging aspects of this. That was
yeah.
atrocious.
I mean, I'll be honest. Even when I went to go send money through that, I was like, it like broke, and then I had to go back a couple times before it went through.
I don't know that Rookie describes it appropriately, unfortunately. Now their support ultimately has been pretty good at helping us get through this. But they're actually have been just a trash platform. The way they handle data, the way they ask for data, the way they manage things, like it made me cry in my little hacker heart. I mean, Mike Jones is just a saint for putting up with all the crap, if I'm honest. But anyways, long story short, let's get to some comments. There's a lot of people here, which is really heartwarming because this has been one of those things where, as an introvert, I don't actually like to do these kind of things. But Brandon Barron said, "Hey." John Harden jumped in and says, "Listen, way to go. Congrats on the whole effort and team." It has been a hodgepodge of idiots getting this done. Like that's what we actually called our internal chat, but it has been awesome.
I really hope that doesn't shut down when we're done.
No, we need to keep that as an open channel of communications for everybody involved. Zach Littlefield, thank you, buddy. Oh, man, thanks for being here, bud. Congrats, Matt and everyone. Great accomplishment. So cool. Brandon Barron, I'm always here. Put me in the show. Put me in the game. Listen, man, I got you. Next year we're going to come up with another way to help, I think, down the road. Adam, why don't you pop in? Just tell me what your experience has been like. What's the good? What's the bad? Yeah, thanks, Jacob. It's more than bittersweet. It's devastating, but that's okay.
Yeah, this whole thing's been a lot of fun. I made a couple posts about it, but overall, I've not been without a beard for at least the last 10 years of my life, so this is going to be really weird. But it's been fun, a lot of fun, and I'm really happy the cause that this is all going towards. Some great organizations. So
yeah,
all I had to do was post a little bit and lose some face hair. So if that helps a lot of people, then sign me up.
Yeah, and we're going to live stream it. So anybody that's watching right now, it's already on my LinkedIn events. We're going to live stream basically like 8 stupid hours of face shaving and shenanigans and things. But, I think it'd be one of those moments where we get to learn what people actually think about OPSEC, because they're going to be in a completely recorded room with completely recorded video of everything. So we might see some really fun gaffes and failures down that chain. We'll see. But Jacob, thanks for being here, bud. That's a man that I look up to. With one eye, at least, pretty heavily. But brilliant CMMC person. I read a lot of his stuff, so thank you for being here. Eric Johnson, congratulations on the goal. Thank you. It's been fantastic. Good to see you, my friend. Got some others. We got Nathan Boger, Alex Hoff. You know what? Let's do this. Everybody promise to be like super polite and don't be jerks in the chat, and we'll just do it this way. We'll just I know. This is living dangerously, right? Like, unfortunately. No, it's going to be in glorious 4K. I actually was telling them earlier, which you can't see now because I'm on this crappy camera, but I have 2 of these cases with 140 pounds of gear for live streaming this event. So I've got failovers for failovers. Doesn't mean it won't fail, but it just means I'll have a lot of fun getting kicked in the teeth as I try to solve it. So, good call out.
We'll have some eyewitnesses there to make sure you're not deep faking somebody else's face and you get away with your beard. We'll be there.
Bro, stop reading my diary, you jerk. That's not cool, man. I thought we were friends, Matt. That's not nice. Yeah, F's in the chart. What's this? Hold on. F's in the chart for the glorious beard. We're going to lose. Yeah, fair. Too short. Touche, Martin. It's terrible. But it's coming back. Like, they're all coming back. George's might be a little sus, if I'm honest, but ours will come back. It looks natural to me. I got you. Oh, have I left anybody waiting in the wings? No. Okay, good. Not yet. All right, very cool. Luis, good to see you, my friend. So awesome. Thanks for being on here. I appreciate you. And the donation. That was glorious, man. You helped me in a time when we were getting kind of stalled a little bit. So I think this is also kind of one of those lessons on like achieving what you set out to achieve. I think that this has been one of those things that everybody has participated in their own way to help us meet this goal and actually make this a thing. And I think it could turn into ripple effects in the channel with others doing this as a methodology of kind of being a good corporate citizen and driving this kind of stuff. It's awesome. No, they're not beautiful faces. These are going to be horrible. Oh, beautiful humans. Touche. True story. I believe in that.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and we're up to the point where chat's caught up now. Good. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm having to do Ian's part too. He's looks like he might be on the road still, unfortunately. So he was driving today.
Van life.
George, so tell me about your following this from the beginning, right? Because you knew of this a long time ago, and you and I had a chat in some city at some time in front of some beverage not too long ago. I don't remember where we were though. But what did it look like from your side?
Yeah, listen. I think it was fun. It was it's a great idea, right? And I think that the fact that as a community we're always helping each other, right, in one form or another, and that's great. I just don't think there's a lot of the charitable giving stuff happening on a regular basis. So I think to your point, Matt Lee, like it was good to kind of kick that off, right? You're not doing this from a corporate standpoint, right? You just kind of said, "Hey, I'm going to go out there, got the beard, what can we do to help the people out there?" So I love it. I think it was a great idea as all things go, right? And whether it's in business or not, everybody waits, I feel like, until the last, mile.
Doesn't that always play out, man?
So I was talking to you about this for months, over at least a year. And I'm like, hey, let me know, when you want me to jump in, how can I help? Everybody always says good things and then maybe doesn't, get to the finish line. So that's why, you're creeping there. And I was like, called up Ian. I'm like, dude, we can't leave this up to chance, right?
So let me tell on myself a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and be straight up. I like to do my confessions. I'm a good Catholic boy since I was a young man. I definitely sandbagged the crap out of this, hoping we'd not get anywhere close, and I would not have to lose my beautiful beard that I feel so much pride in. So, if I'm completely honest, I didn't make a lot of phone calls until the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so, and
when it became real.
What's that?
When it became real, that last week.
Yeah. That last 2 weeks, right? Like, oh, George's already shaved, or he got too hot.
I got ahead of you.
Was whooping him. Yeah, fair. But no, I definitely started making phone calls. Like people like, Alex Hoff took my call and said, yeah, man, we're in, right? You got so many people that jumped in at the last moment. And I don't know, humbling, awesome. Don't call me out like that, Alex. I told on myself. That's how things work. You telling yourself the sister doesn't hit your hand as hard. At least as I understand
to that degree, Matt, that's why, no offense, we weren't going to let you off the hook, right? Imagine if it was 95K and it stopped there, and I was like, that's not going to work. We need to put.
But I was shaving no matter what, right?
Okay.
Oh, Jacob Horner, the mustache is staying. I think it would make a glorious mustache. But my wife, I think, secretly has not enjoyed the fangs, she calls them, when my lips get really, really mustachy. So she's going to appreciate a break for 3 weeks or so as I hide in December. I don't know if y'all know that, but I've taken most of December off.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah,
you say that, and 5 days into January, I bet you're on another plane.
I am. It's already scheduled. Yeah, but no, at least in December, I am not seeing many humans. I have presentations.
3 or 4 weeks of beard banter is just pre-recorded, just so you can just check it out.
No, he's gonna put the shaving on auto loop.
No,
right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so gonna be terrible. A new Matt and team. Good to see you, Tim, dude. I love you so much. Tim Golden's also one of those people that just out there just pushing like a locomotive as hard as he can for things. And I love it to death. Jacob Horn, good to see you. No, legitimately, Tim. I don't think you understand. My wife, if she was here, which she's luckily walked away to get packing, would tell you the last week has probably been a pure definition of hell. And it's this conversation of I genuinely don't want to lose my beard. I genuinely wanted to help good, and that will always win. And unfortunately, means I'm losing my beard. So I've been through these stages of grief, but also have been, a little on edge, just a smidge. Yeah, Alex, I was on the road for over 200 days in a row. Sure, fair. I am going to be at 104 plus 7 flights by the end of this. So I'll be at 111 flights by the time I get done in a week and a half. So I'm ready. I need a break. But anyways, back to the charity. So Mr. Hash, you jumped in as my Canadian counterpart, and I always say that wrong. Is it Hash or Hache? And I've asked this before. Jesus Christ, man.
That's all right. You just start
If I
calling
had
me
you a
that.
beer for every time, like I probably owe you a lot of beers ultimately.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's
tell
all
me
right.
about your journey through this, man. You jumped in super early and kind of reached out and like, bro, man, like I'm
Yeah,
in.
it was almost like just a random like sure, why not? I think I saw Carrie. I think you
You
logged.
commented on one of my pictures, and she saw your face or something to that effect, and she said,
Well,
"Hey,
yeah, she posted the thing and it had like 4 faces on it. Like, we're starting this beard charity thing. And I was like, oh, well, I'll sacrifice my beard. I just put on LinkedIn and don't think anything of it. And then Carrie messages me direct. It's like, hey, are you serious?
It's
Like, yeah,
over."
sure. Why not? Didn't even really look into it. It's like, yeah, whatever. We're 100,000. We're not going to get 100,000. It's cool. I'll put my face on something. And then we got traction. We got 14. We started talking to people. We started getting, we started doing the beard banters. We started talking. We started looking, reading more. And it's like, well, this, to my comment earlier, I was like, this thing's got legs. Like, this might happen. And then 3.5 weeks ago, we're like looking down the barrel. And it's like, we need like $35,000 and it's taken 5 months to get this far. And then all of a sudden it was like, I blinked 5,000, I blinked 10,000. And then we get within 15,000. And then I wake up the next day and we're 25,000 over.
Well,
I'm like, okay.
George was sitting in the wings ready to finish this out, man. Like he was just being a guy.
I was waiting. I was in the weeds.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, guys, what's happening here?
Just in the
I
background.
wanted to make sure they got to the finish line. But hey, listen,
that's not nice, Tim Golden.
But hold on. Listen, there's a lot. This is not over yet. That's the thing I want everybody to pay attention to, right? We still got when does the official deadline, Matt? When is the cutoff?
Great question. I'm going to close it out Friday afternoon. Once we get done Friday afternoon, the plan is this. So I don't know if you guys know this, but GoFundMe is a capital-driven company that doesn't want to lose money on credit card charges. So they charge about 3% of those numbers. So when we get done at the end of it, we're going to close it out Friday at the end of the day. Whatever numbers are in there, minus GoFundMe fees. If we've hit another 5,000, we'll distribute. If we've hit something over that 5,000, we'll distribute and we'll send it to somebody. And everybody in the charity run is going to keep getting it. But you're doing us a great favor. We're coming on the All-American Rejects. We're going to get to announce that and talk about it on stage about that. Like, that's going to be the biggest stage I've even ever been on. I really genuinely believe that. I think the number of humans there, the most I've ever done is 800 or 1,000 or so. So I'm betting this is the biggest stage. I will probably freak out a little, but we're going to get some more donations there, and we're going to keep growing this. We've added go ahead.
Want to go wide, guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be, and I just saw the number, something like 2,600 and change in MSP attendees.
Oh, man.
There's another 700 like vendor staff, like all in, it's about 4,000 people. And that's just at IT Nation. That's not including all the other events around it and, all the stuff that's happening all week long. So that's just a lot of people in one place. So like, hey, what if you hit 200,000? I mean, like, that could be, I mean, you could get there.
Well, and I think we will. I think one of the things that we're trying to do now, we had a BHAG of hitting basically 500,000 initially early on. I think there were things that could have happened that would have gotten us there. But if we hit 200,000, I am going to hold Ian to taping my beard before shaving it and making it so he turned this into a matte beard wig. And I will make him wear it. I just want to make sure everyone is very clear on the 200,000 mark. So if we hit 200,000, Ian will wear my beard as a matte beard wig. I'm even hoping to get the silicone glue, like serious.
I wonder if many people would want to stand in line to do that. That's what I think.
That's how we get to 5, right? It's just, rent a beard.
Oh, Lord. I'm only saying that. Go ahead.
200,000 should be an eyebrow. Like, just take one of Ian's eyebrows.
We're getting there. And there's so many commitments out there right now. Actually, we've been working with several others we won't mention yet, but we're going to probably get there. Want to touch back on some comments, right? Like, it's just got legs, just no longer beards. Not nice. Also, I thought there was sweet irony in No Shave November being the time for shaving all of these faces. And I think that Gary probably did too, if I'm honest. So, but yeah, no, I think we'll hit it. I think we could hit 200,000. Maybe I'm a little bit BHAG, or if anybody's not familiar with that term, big, hairy, audacious goal, which I think also is ironic in that conversation. Also, Elena Percival's here as well. They were kind of the one that broke my mold a little bit. And the reason is I was trying to find charities that I could do the most good for that weren't already well established, right? That weren't already living that kind of capital dream where they could show multipliers on dollars received and things like that. But Women Who Code was like one of the highly voted for in my poll I did. They were one of the highest voted for, and so it still made it in on that it was cyber. It spoke towards diversity. They speak towards diversity in a multicultural space, perspective as well as not just that. So they're at their full 20,000. I think Mike got that last check out today. Big naked. Luis, why? I thought we were friends. I mean, I know there was that one thing of your wife and the conversation we had about that, but I thought we were buddies, man. Oh, sorry, I'll elaborate. At one point when I did not come work with Luis in a party, he told me, "Hey, Matt, my wife said she's no longer going to sleep with me if I do not work at your company." And I did not make the job. And so Luis then came back later about 6 months and goes, "Yeah, Matt, she's not. I just want to tell you, that's what happened. You did it." So he loves pulling my string a little bit. I love him to death. But yes, big, naked, audacious goal because we will have no hair on our face. I don't think people are prepared for how white this is going to be under here. Like, it's been a
I'll
long
bring
time.
sunglasses. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I probably shave once every 2 years, usually aligning with No Shave November right near the end. And that summer puts down a base tan you're never ready for. So you've got years of it under there. It'll be interesting.
All right, I'm living dangerously right now in chat. Anywhere you are, if you want to join, pop in. We'll allow y'all to pop in, join us here. So, anybody want to be a smart aleck and jump on or have some words? Juan, I see you in there, buddy. She's still mad at you. That's fair. That's funny. But if anybody wants to pop in, please jump in, and I'll bring you on stage. We can have some conversations.
You got details on the shape, like what the booth and stuff will look like?
Yeah, I do. It's let me get this. Oh, I'm not smart enough to apparently click where the link is. I guess this is one of those tests of drinking alcohol while also simultaneously trying to use technology. But I wanted to post a link. So she said Women Who Code is able to increase our cybersecurity programming next year thanks to this event and a few additional donors, which I do love. And I do remember that in our first conversation, they told me that one of the things they would use this for is to actually increase not just the coding and business and profession aspects of this, but also trying to drive the cybersecurity aspect of Women Who Code and the education portions and the webinars and things. And so I forgot that. Thank you for reminding me, Elena. That's awesome. Anybody that wants to jump in, please do. I think I just had a little delay. So Adam, tell me about this, man. Like, you fortunately or unfortunately work with Bob Coppage, right? Which has its positives and negatives as things plays out. But tell me about your journey, right? Like, you jumped in on this a little bit later in the party. And I'm going to talk about what I've bought for each of you guys here in a minute, that just to say thank you. But Eric Bowles. Oh, and somebody going to jump in. Maybe it's Eric. That would make me so happy. Okay, Cole. We got a little Halpin action going on. Yeah. AKA Leonard Skinner Cole Halpin.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Cole.
Let's go, Adam. I was asking you a question, man. I don't want to get off the conversation.
Yeah, no, so getting involved with this is kind of fun. Down at IT Nation Secure and just posted a selfie just that I was here and just get a little bit of that LinkedIn presence going. And then I got the message from Carrie. Hey, that's a nice beard. How do you like to shave it? Having no idea who Carrie is, I go up to Matt and go, "Hey, do you know this Carrie person?" "Yeah, you're doing it." Several months later, here we are.
Yeah. I didn't think you'd call me out quite that hard over the conversation, but you're not wrong. That's pretty much the way that went.
Yeah, so I guess the answer to that question of if all your friends did something, would you do it too? I guess the answer for me is apparently a yes.
At least a slow jump off of a very long, hairy bridge, unfortunately, right?
Until the last couple weeks. That's when it got kind of crazy, like Matt was saying.
All right, Mr. Halpin, buddy.
What's going on?
Man, you and I have had a journey together over these last few years. For anybody that doesn't know, Cole Halpin and I have had the distinct pleasure of sitting on a couple different packs together and spending a lot of time beating the crap out of vendors while smiling publicly about them. So that's one of my favorite moves. Oh man, listen, tell me about your journey on this. Like, why did you jump in? How's it been for you? Anything you want to talk about? Like, we hit our goal. It's celebration time. I'm definitely drinking a beer as a result of said celebration before I go to sleep and get up ready to take 400 pounds or so of gear with me tomorrow. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to even remember how I got started on this whole adventure. I mean, it's been a blast for me, to be honest. I mean, obviously, Matt, like you were saying, we've known each other for a while on the different packs and whatnot. And when this, I guess that for lack of a better term, opportunity came across, I was like, man, there's not a lot I'll do to shave my beard, but this is definitely one of those things. Like,
bro,
so many people have asked, is like, look, I've always had facial hair. I've gotten it down and I've trimmed it up a little bit, but I haven't been like truly clean shaven since college. And college was a while ago. So
yeah.
so it's been a fun little ride. I'm really stoked. Obviously, we hit the goal. That was freaking awesome. I'm looking forward to this week, next week, however you want to frame it, and not at the same time. I mean, Friday is going to be a bittersweet day. I don't know what I'm going to do with my hands because I sit on calls all day.
Bro, I do this constantly. George tried to trick me into it earlier. I seen him do it. He did it once, and then I was like, you know what? It is time to stroke my beard.
We should have been taking like a counter, like how many times one of us, like I've been doing this all day. Just how many times do we touch our beard?
They say when you lose a limb, you still feel it, right? So like,
yeah, I bet it's gonna be there. Yeah, like I won't have to zip my beard up in my jacket any longer for a little bit, right? Like I won't have the awkwardness of it sticking in my helmet and going, crap, that hurt when I pulled it off.
I always get stopped in security, right? So like, what's gonna happen when you go back?
I asked. Several of the girls and guys I know throughout the different airports in the U.S. I'm like, hey, Bill, what's going to happen when you see me without this beard? He goes, I don't know. And then this one guy was honest. He goes, the eye will still stick out. And I was like, I love you so much. Like, at least for being completely honest, right? Like, so I'm pretty good. I have biometric protection for this, right? So, but
I could just be a fly on the wall the first time you have a bowl of soup without your beard.
What? Right? Like, I can't even imagine. Like I have to load soup like a Pez dispenser where you're loading the soup and then you close it, right? Like I'll be able to slurp soup. It's crazy. It's nuts. This is nuts.
So what you're saying is after the beard shave's done, we are not going out for all you can eat soups and breadsticks.
No, we're going to barbecue. You know what's funny is my wife pointed out yesterday, and Sandro's here. Juan's here. So my wife pointed this out yesterday. She's like, hey, you know all that stuff that hits your beard that you pull out, like when you wipe with a napkin and stuff? She goes, that's the stuff I've been cleaning off your shirts for 20 years. I just want to make sure you understand, like, this is going to come back. You're going to have a bib or something. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. Oh, God. We got so many people joining. This is super awesome. Tim failed out a little bit, so he'll come back. But we have Juan, man. Like, where are you, buddy? Hotel room?
No, man. I'm at the barbershop waiting to shave you guys.
You're literally at my barbershop already. You smart aleck. You got a Kansas background. All right.
I can't wait to bring you to the Smooth Face Club, my friend.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's not going to be smooth. It's going to look like wrinkles flapping in the wind. Like, I'm going to have to be careful where I kept. Like, I step out in Kansas, I could die. I could die in Kansas because of you guys.
You could.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to. Congratulations to all you guys for all your hard work. That's like an amazing feat. When I saw you guys hit it, I literally was like gonna ping George and be like, bro, you could have left me like, $1,500 to donate, bro. Like when he took you there, I was like, all right, good job.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah,
I knew they were getting like 500, 1,000, 20. I was like, I'm not gonna leave this a chance. Nope, not doing it.
So what's funny is Eric Taylor was the one that was probably the hardest in this because
he came in early.
He came in super early, and then he wanted to donate for the longest time another $25,000 to just close us out. And I said, listen, I feel like if you do that, it'll dissuade others from jumping in, and I feel like you shouldn't have to carry this whole burden. It's not on you, bro. And it's been one of those things. I just want to call him out because if we'd left him to his own devices, he'd have kept donating, and we had to beat him off and say, wow, that's not right. But we had to beat him off with a stick and say, listen, you need to go donate to other charities that you care about. This one, you've already crushed it for us on this, but Tim Golden, I just want you to know we have our own compliance engine, and it would seem you may have failed compliance. And the main part of that is you were approaching it in a vertical view on your camera. And I bet this thing's set up for this horizontal view. So you might try that again and come back through compliance. And I'm just messing with Tim because of the compliance aspect of this. But Eric Bowles, thank you also for helping out. I also do want to say, like, Pax8 helped us crush this, right? Matt, maybe we didn't get any money directly from them in that regard.
Tremendous
but they
amount
did.
of support.
Yeah, huge support internal from employees, but also like huge support in the video graphics. If anybody saw the stupid video we have of us talking about why we're doing this and all that, there's a couple of mistakes in there in the sense that they somehow believe I'm a redhead just because I have a red beard. I'm actually a brunette. This is just my Viking blood. So yeah, but they're gonna, they helped out a lot with the graphics, with the video. GRC isn't compliant. Anyways, man. But oh, fair enough. Somebody's doggy. There's Cole's doggy.
That's fine.
Yeah, but this has been one of those things where I think the real impact of this will feel once I get done with the burden of the remainder of all the accounting and all the things and making sure everything actually cleared and everything's down to the exact penny and all of those things. But I think
as they always say, it looks easy, but it's hard.
It is hard. I spent so most people don't know this, and I'll talk about this maybe down the road in a book. But I set aside $100,000 in an escrow account essentially for me to have in case people screwed up somehow or if there was something broken. Like that was my biggest critical part was I want these charities to get the money, right? And it was one of those biggest fears for me, the platform. And so for the longest time, we were gathering funds that couldn't be distributed because of GoFundMe. And so there was like, I was just watching my checkbook. I was like 25,000, 35,000, 45,000. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrifying. But ultimately we got all that fixed. But this whole event has been probably on the order of 1,000 hours of work between multitudes of humans. You just don't realize how much goes into it when you first endeavor to succeed, I suppose, in that definition. But thank you to everybody that helped. Cole, especially those, and I think this is one of those things I learned of, especially those that like really participated, right? Like most of the self-selected people on this call are part of that group, but there's a good 15 or so people that like really dug in and made this happen. But I bought challenge coins. Is everybody familiar with that concept?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've got challenge coins, and for all my major donors, all the people that participated, pretty much all the people we're talking to here and that are chatting in the comments and such, I've got numbered 1 through 100 challenge coins, and I'm going to be distributing those to each of the big major donors and also each of the donors for the most part. But this is going to be one of those very special moments in our lives, I think, down the road, especially for the Coles and the Adams and Matt that are truly participatory in this and have been part of this for 8 months of work that is not paid or compensatory in any way. So, Tim Golden, we'll see where it makes it on that, but there's some pretty awesome coins. I actually have a purple background and a pink beard, and then on the back it says, major participant with a big razor across it, 2022. But
so I kind of know what you're about to go through because back in the day I had a legitimate fro, not just this big
legitimate
one.
fro. I've seen pictures. It is glorious.
Like that's why I got this, right? I was
like,
like I had 13 inches on my head for real. And like, long story short, I went to Catholic high school.
Same here.
We had so at the hockey basketball arena, which has been changed names many times now, called Wells Fargo Center. They would do wing bowl, right? And this was a whole fanfare. One of the sports radio stations here did it forever. And then like we would do wing cup at the high school level, right? We'd get like the person who won wing bowl come down and be like the referee. Anyway, long story short, Battle of the Hairs, me versus the principal of my high school. Totally rigged, by the way. Totally rigged. Like, I found out afterwards they even had George's heads getting shaved, right? Like, it was all
there was no alternate slide.
No, yeah. Like, the dude was like feeding chicken wings to his bulldog underneath the table. It was like, come on. I didn't have a fair shot. But anyway, so I had 13 inches of hair. I don't know if you guys have measured. Maybe that's one thing you should do. Measure the beard, right? Okay, before.
I bet it's a good 13 because it could go locks of love. Someone else earlier said locks of love, and we'll come back to your story. But my problem with locks of love for this is some poor chap somewhere at 7 years old will be walking around with this hideous beard as hair on his head. They don't do beards for people. They're not like, oh, poor kid lost all his hair. Would you like a beard? That's not how this works. So my challenge was in that aspect of it, right? Like, so I just couldn't imagine some kid parting his hair down the middle and it looking like a, absolute terrible part from a horrible wig.
Just smells like a pint and wings.
And you're like, is that Carolina Reaper?
Blue cheese in there.
Try not to get the hair in your eyes. It really burns. Yeah.
Oh man. I bet Juan is also one of those gentlemen that's not going to grow a beard. Now he's it's not disappointing. Luis.
No, me and Luis, and that's the crazy part. Like, I don't even know if I could if I wanted to. I know it does grow like right here, but like it's not a good look for me. But a funny story to your point, George. I had long hair, like mid back, and one day I was in Denver, and I remember one of my bosses at 3M at the time. They pinned me down in my hotel room and they like took the scissors and cut it off me and it looked like shit. And then they sent me out and they gave me $20 and said, go get a regular haircut. And I remember calling my girl at the time. I was like, you won't believe this. These guys pinned me down and cut all my hair off. And she was just, yeah, man. So like you guys doing it I remember that day and ever since I've never had long hair.
Wow. That's not right. Don't say that out loud. I think you're just trying to troll me right now, Juan.
No, man. I'm just saying we may see a whole new Matt, man. There may be like baby's face Matt forever.
He's gonna go back like 25 years younger, right?
Yeah.
We're definitely seeing a brand new Matt. I don't know what it's gonna. I can't even envision it right now. What could actually happen? Are you gonna rebrand? Like, what's the plan for your brand when this is
like I told the guys before you came on, I've actually strategically not accepted any live presentations for the month of December. So I'm actually going to disappear from most limelight for about 3.5 weeks.
That should be enough time to
he's gonna find the beard Rogaine,
Oh yeah. Well, I've already done
like
my
the chia pet version.
Yeah.
And just I've been working on it. No, it's glorious. Yeah, I've been going through all the different practices.
Well, one of the things I'm looking forward to it, even though like the masks are off on planes or whatnot. But that was always the worst feeling. You get off the plane and you'd have to wear the mask the entire time, and they'd be indented. Your entire beard would just be like popped up when you get off, and you could finally take it off. Yeah. And you just couldn't get it out. You just sit there working it out so you wouldn't have this indent anymore. I'm so excited to not have to worry about that.
No, but you're right. The indent lasts a long time. I still, because I wore my helmet today, feel it. But there was a grown-in indent because there wasn't enough hair behind it pushing it forward in the beginning that it kind of did that. I'm not looking forward to going back through that, but I'm definitely going to regrow it. It is part of me. Mike Jones started his again already today. He shaved today. I've got the video, and so he's already in it. To be honest with you, he looks like 27 years younger, and so I think they've kind of called that about the beard potentially, right? Like, yeah.
Well, Luis just came back and thinks everybody's gonna get carded at the bar at IT Nation.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. Yeah.
No one's gonna recognize anybody.
Well, and that's the fun part, right? Like, could we just glue it back on you? No, I don't think so. We need before and after selfies. I will be doing before and after selfies. I will probably put a pretty big pause on selfies, if I'm honest, for a little while. Like if
you're a target, Matt. There's no way anyone's gonna let it. Like,
that's terrible. Why would you put that out in the ether?
They're gonna go find you, dude. It's gonna be
Mike
the
Jones
selfie
watching.
with.
Good to see him. Yeah, dude. Why would you put that out in the ether, Juan Fernandez? I don't want people to chase
you
me
always
down
tag
after
us all down.
Why do you think I shaved as late as possible, other than Schlegel, on Friday?
Yeah,
I've got pressing meetings in the hotel room as soon as I'm done at that point. Like pressing meetings, as I understand.
Charge people for selfies. If they want a picture with you beardless, it's $50 to the cause.
To the charity.
Oh, that would be good. I could do that. See, you guys keep you do that.
There you go. Have the square ready.
You set me up, you sorry bastard. Who was that? Was that you, Matt? I know that was you, Matt. Yeah. So I'm testing out a pair of the El Cheapo monitors. So the monitors I usually use are like $400, and I wanted to get another set, and I couldn't justify for a one-time use really spending that. But they're actually quite decent. They're pretty nice. So we'll be able to do interviews during the live shaves. We'll be able to have conversations. I am a tag master, Mike. You're not wrong. I feel like one of the things that if I could give anyone advice, even if you don't feel like you have a stage, everyone wants to be put up on it. And I think that's one of those things, as you continue to give others stages, you'll find that usually creates more presence for yourself.
I'm just thinking about if Matt Lee opens up one of his 200-pound cases and it has the little, your case has been, your baggage has been reviewed by TSA.
Oh, nice.
I've been collecting those. My wife keeps throwing them out, but I would get like stacks of those TSA reviewed pages. And for a while, I'm so OCD, I was tracking what layer I found them. Like, was it in layer 2? Was it laziness and they hit it right on the top of layer 1? They never looked at anything else. Like, it was really quite interesting of a thought experiment, but my wife killed that one. So, unfortunately. What? Don't look at me like that. That's not nice. Fair. Touche. I deserve that one. Anyways, I just wanted this to be a bit of a celebration. I genuinely had no other conversation or agenda, but there's a whole lot of people watching, at least in the chats and such. So I want to thank everybody that is watching. Thank you so very much for like helping, donating, spreading it, liking it, saying something about it,
Keep
driving
sharing.
it forward.
Keep spreading.
Keep sharing.
Keep
We're not
donating.
done.
Yes, absolutely.
The other thing I have to say for sure is ConnectWise crushed it on this. Like, from the very beginning, I literally just put it out there going, if I just will this into being, it'll happen. Like, I don't know if y'all know that or not, but when I first announced it, it was, we're going to do this at IT Nation Connect, comma space, somehow? Question mark? Right? Like, they crushed it. Like, they leaned in. Andrea Barrow, which the whole Barrow family is like just rock stars in general, if I'm honest. But Topher and such, just being one of my early people I looked up to. But I will say, like, they crushed it. They gave us the room. They donated $15,000. They're paying the barber. They've done the signage. They're doing the work for actually displaying it. They're supposed to be doing the work to display on main stage. The people that donated, the 10, the 15, and the $5,000 there. Donation signs inside of our, hey puppies, what? Donation signs inside of our booth. The whole booth donation time, like, what does that cost if you were a vendor buying a space like that, right? So
$30,000.
they crushed it.
The crazy part is, like, how early on?
There you go.
Like, we were maybe only.
Oh, you don't want me
like,
to.
It's like, what? What do you mean we got a booth? Like, we had barely started in ConnectWise, and like, yeah, center stage, no worries. Here's your barber.
Yeah, there was. Let's just put it this way: it was a little more sold that way to y'all than it was in negotiations. At the time.
The truth comes out.
Do we vet this barber? Like, do we have credentials? Like, I want to make sure.
They have to have creds, or else they cannot barb. I think it's called barbing. Am I wrong? They cannot barb in Florida without a barber's license.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But I want to know: are they bringing a straight razor though? Like, is that?
Dude, I hope so, Juan. So the first to say one thing is that the first barber, Jax, would have been like this level of doing it. We got somebody that's local, so we're not sure what that level is going to be, but it sounded like it. Knowing Jax, it would have been like that kind of awesomeness, right? Like, it definitely would have. Colored beards, all that. Some of that came off the table, but the barber was charging a good number for said value. And so when it came down to it, it was, would you rather us take $5,000 more away from the donation and pay for the barber? And the answer was, no, we'll figure it out. And so they found a better price on the barber and found somebody new. But, it is one of those things where I don't want it to be lost, because this is the kind of thing that cannot happen without so much collaboration. And it's the same collaboration we need to solve the security problem. I know you all went a long time without me saying the word security. Like, we went 54 minutes, if I'm honest, right? Like 44 live minutes, 54 total minutes. But this is the kind of conversation that has to exist for us to do this at a global scale. We have to all collaborate. We all have to work towards a common mission. So it's proven we can work towards a mission. Now we just need to do it. All right, I'll get off my damn pulpit. That's the last time, I promise. But yeah, so look forward to inviting anybody that's listening still. We're getting really close to the time. Somebody else may have jumped in. Oh, Bob Coppage. Very cool. We'll get to that guy.
Bob Coppage. There he is.
I won't close it out then yet. We'll let Bob talk about his life thesis. Everybody else has been going around, Bob, talking about their life origin stories, thesis, and what's their biggest raison d'etre, ultimately. So we'll give you about 22 minutes on the floor.
I always like to work with computers.
Hey, Lenny. Easy, Lenny. Let go of the rabbit.
See, and Matt, there's the answer to the question of what it's like to work with Bob.
There you go. Thank you, Adam, for bringing that completely full circle.
Yeah,
That's
no
fantastic.
question about it. No, I mean, honestly, it's one of those where the first computer I started playing with was back in the early mid 70s. It was a PDP-8 that had 16K of RAM, 4 terminals, and just paper tape, no hard drive, no nothing.
Sure.
I was a failed nuclear physics major. I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up, and I have absolutely no intention of finding out.
Fair. I'm totally messing with you, of course. The whole conversation certainly was around just the participation in this. And, Bob actually, for anybody that's not seen this yet, Bob wrote a song. So Bob wrote, it's pretty money. Like, I got to say, so Bob, tell me about the song, man. How'd this come to be? This was stupid. I mean, just absolutely stupid.
No, it was absolutely stupid. And my biggest challenge was, how do we do something like this and not be incredible? There's a difference between people laughing with you, laughing at you, and laughing dismissively, And
fair.
Those of you guys know I've done a whole 15 years or so of improv and all of that, and never quit my day job. Sorry, Adam.
Was that a ramping challenge, or was that just never mind?
No, but it's one of those where I just kept on going back to that. I know we are the world, all that kind of silliness, and how many people have made these really bad anthems about whatever the heck they happen to be doing, and this just seemed to be screaming for it. But then it was like, okay, now what do we do with it, or now what do I do with it? I still don't know the answer to that one.
So you just called out a little known fact. I have probably listened to the original "We Are the World" video or actual audio 3,000 times. Probably, listening to the different artists' voices coming in, and I have a real problem. So you definitely called upon that, because as soon as you played it, I was like, dude, that comes from this "We Are the World" feeling. It's not the same tone, it's not the same, but it has that feeling. So if that was your homage, you certainly achieved it, at least in my opinion.
But it was also, and it shows you how dedicated I am and how lazy I am.
No. Do not jump me in a rock pile. I will sure as hell throw a rock, right? So it's not laziness. This is just opportunistic, right? I think it was brilliant on your part.
No. What I'm saying is that this song screamed to be sung by all of you guys. Each do it, because the original thought I had was that, oh boy, we got the melody, we got the lyrics, we got the bridge, we got all that kind of fun stuff. All I got to do is get each of you guys to sing, an A-B part of a verse, and then we'll do that, and we all join in for that'll work. And then it was like, oh, that'll take.
I could never wrangle that many humans. Yeah,
it'd be easy to get us to shave our
beards.
beards.
My biggest issue.
Fair call out. Oh yeah, I it is kind of like herding cats, right? It's kind of one of those things where getting everybody involved in something that is their tertiary, if not fourth job or something that they're doing to do this with us, and this long. Everybody that said yes in that first few moments, I don't think there was an appropriate vetting going back to say, you're going to have to be massively involved, tons of chats. You'll look back at LinkedIn and see a dot that says 196, because that's how many chats you just missed in the last 3 hours you were in a meeting, right? Yeah.
But here's the biggest challenge. Almost everyone who's involved in this is a leader.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, and to put all of the and this is where I will give the raising the money. Yeah, that was great. Helping all these causes. Yeah, that was great. To get all of these people who are used to driving things in their directions, and to get them to all work together to follow that to me, that's the kudos. That's the thing that's amazing on this.
Yeah, I think the puppet masters were certainly a little Ian, a little Matt, a little Carrie. But mostly the biggest puppet master is probably Carrie. I think genuinely, if you look at everybody's origin story, it started with here, kid, would you like a little bite of this apple? Your beard looks really nice. And all of a sudden, no more beard, right? It's a little bit the common.
She pulled the Canada line. It's oh, I'm Canadian too. Oh, I miss it.
Oh, that's so good, Matt. Oh my goodness.
I already said yes. Like, cool, let's do this.
Yeah. But she was just making sure you did not back out. And I think it's actually played out to where at the end of all this, I've been doing all the work, but I think that she set us on the perfect path from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
No, that's the other piece to call out. Ian, I've put in a fair amount of work. I try to squeeze it in between sleeping and standing and walking, most of my day. But, I think Ian has crushed this on how much work he's done in this. And I'd just say, I thought he was going to be here, but I'd love to give him a round of applause. Yeah, for sure. I don't think this would have happened without him. I think the prospectus, some of the professionalism that came from it, and I don't know if you know this or not, but one of the things Ian's planning to do with this is do a very large marketing write-up that turns into a webpage of how people can use being good citizens and doing this kind of stuff as a way to drive marketing view of their company. And not just in the MSP world, but just in general. And so this has been a bit of a experiment from the beginning for Ian that he and I kind of conscribed into in the very early days of capturing all this so we can talk about just how bad it is and also how good it is, right, at the same time. I think we lost somebody. My math's not very good, but yeah. It was Adam. Okay, good. I'm figuring it out. But no, from the beginning, we wanted this to be a story of how you could do this and bring a channel together, bring people in, talk about it, drive it from a marketing perspective. And I think you'll see there's some really good content that comes out of this that I think can help drive some corporate citizenry in the future of doing these kind of things and participating. And, anyways, yeah, it's an interesting experiment for sure. Bob, they said you will not look like Letterman, unfortunately, at the end of this.
Well, that's because of Letterman's lawyers, yeah.
they co-donated. they helped fund these through like guerrilla fundings. Yeah. Also, hidden on Matt's chin is a QR code that Rick rolls you, guaranteed. I do find it quite ironic that right after said statement, we did pop in with a Bitly link from Timothy Golden, right? Like,
I'm not clicking it.
Yeah, I'm not clicking that. That's going into my detonation zone. And you can come back, Tim. You don't have to weaponize malware because your phone didn't work the first time. You can join back in, buddy. But you're right. After action review call, great call out. Don't make me work. This is a non-working event. This is a celebration. But you're right. You should definitely, after actions like this, go review. And some of the things I learned was be more selective and more truthful about the workload that would be expected of volunteers in this. I think it's things like have better collateral before. I think that's some of the things I learned. Also, it's about like a 30-hour work week for someone to matriculate most of this. I don't think people realize how much work goes into it. But hey, Sandor, good to see you, buddy. Awesome to see you here as well. I think we're kind of getting to that point. So I'll let everybody go around and give any closing remarks or make a stupid joke or make a face at me. But let's everybody kind of wrap around and say goodbye, and we'll wrap this up. I was hoping to get Ian to – he was driving his van across the country, and so he wasn't quite where he could help out and join in. But let's go. Who wants to go first? Bob?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Juan,
I just want to say congratulations to all of you guys. I know what it takes to run, a big initiative. George, you're not a stranger to this either, and it's really, 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 really honoring. I can't say enough about how much you guys did on that. I had a major amount of FOMO. I wish I could grow a beard just to shave it with you guys. So, congratulations to all of you that are participating and all your hard work on this. It's been amazing to watch, and it's been a true honor to see you guys bring the channel together like this. So good job to all of you.
Yeah, brother. And before you drop off, everybody just can't wait to see me and Juan Fernandez getting sassy with it.
We're going to do something
soon. It's coming out. It's coming soon. So
it's coming soon.
Appreciate you, brother. That was made in Fort Worth Club. We had a great time there. It was fantastic. So,
we'll see you guys soon. Congrats again, you guys.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. All right, who's next? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh God. See? That's where somebody goes. That's where somebody goes and ruins it. Well,
at least they didn't join.
About the point we dropped that off.
But they're rating.
That's pretty good.
Okay, who clicked Tim's link?
That was the Bitly link right there.
All right, fair enough. Let's move it on, boys.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I'll go next. I'm excited for it. Again, like I said before, it's a little bittersweet on Friday when I'm getting my beard shaved. It's going to be a piece of me. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm glad we hit it, so I'm looking forward to that. It's weird for me. shout out to Ian for sure and Carrie. It's kind of funny. I was early enough that Carrie didn't have to do a lot of chase downs for me, which I actually appreciated. Because I know how she is. So it was kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a ride. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to growing it back when I can. But yeah, it's just been a hell of a ride. I appreciate everybody who's put everything into it. A bunch of the guys on here, riding along with it.
And Cole, over at Machine Logic, it's awesome that Dan both contributed, but also allows you to participate in this and drives this and understands the vision of what we're doing. And, and for you winding up there, right? Like, talk about building a power team. Like, you'd be one of those guys that, like, is picked in the first round with me. Like, if I was honest, it'd be like, all right, Cole, right now, this team, come on over. So
30 seconds.
Congrats to the Machine. What's that?
30-second pick of the first round, but I'll still take it.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to say what round. I was being a gentleman, damn it. Cole, it was going to be round one. I mean, but still. So, it's all right. All right, brother, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you on Thursday. And then you are shaving on Friday, where we have a professional film crew coming to capture it to make a post-produced video that we're going to give out for all the vendors and sponsors and people to get a little bit of evergreen out of this for people that help donate to this. So, Cole, thank you for being here, brother. I always appreciate even when we have opposing views. So good to see you, brother.
You too, guys.
Bob, let's do it. You're next. Calling you out.
Basically, first of all, thank you to Adam for getting me to join in on this. The rest of you can be with Adam for the same reason. I don't know. And this is one where I got to admit, I'm one of the minor partners as far as doing the work and spreading the word. I'm trying to make up for a little bit with that, with the music and all that kind of fun still in us.
No, it's great, Bob.
And I think we need to come up with some low impact, low cost stuff to do during the week that will still attract some attention. I've got some ideas on that.
I'm horrified.
Yeah. But I think there's some things we might want to still do on that. And I'm also I'm interested to see what we do for next year, because I think there's a way that we can basically package this up and do it maybe even for less money, but also less overhead and less time on our part. Yeah.
Well, if I'm going to steal the thunder maybe potentially, but, connect-wise from this engagement, as already said, we realize there's a place for this in IT Nation forever. And so whatever that may be, whether that's me, whether it's others, whether it's them, whatever it may be. And so if I get any long-term win that I get to write down, I might be able to participate by not even being a part of it. Right. And so it may be one of those things where if that can continue to go forward and we can see this kind of philanthropy and we can see where people find that flexing these muscles often build bridges you can't build otherwise. Right. And so I think this is, near and dear to my heart. So I will also say, Bob, I talk about this as one of those porch moments. I don't know if that ever really happens as a human, and you may seem to be a little more aged than I, but nothing negative. They're just a smidge. Yeah. So, but I always talk about this as when I'm talking to Matt and talking to, Adam about this, is like, this will be one of those things we look back on and sit on the porch and talk about, right? Like to your wife, to your whatever, to me, to friends. There's one of those moments where I think it's going to hit us later, what we've done, more than it does today, right? As you're sitting in those moments. So do you, and that's a call to reason, Bob?
And I'll actually say that's a really good point. That's something I say to young people often is you've got to remember those things. You've got to take a moment during those moments to actually go, okay, I'll remember this 5, 10, 20 years from now. Because too 100%. Often we don't do that.
And I think often those hit you at the moment they hit you. And so I think this is going to be one of those poison pills, if you will. I think that is in most of our veins for being participatory in this. But, I get the benefit of being that 3 to 5 year guy anyway, which just means nobody knows I'm an idiot for 2.5, 3 years, right? So it's, win-win. Bob does. Fair. Thanks, buddy. I'm so happy you were part of this, Bob. I've found quite the affinity to you because you seem to be that guy that gets it in a very deep way more than most others. And so having you be part of this was more valuable to me than any effort you might place in it. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Matt, I'm gonna make George close it out because he's the one that closed out the first 100,000. So we're gonna go around the horn a couple more. But Matt, let's go, buddy. Any last thoughts or conversation or anything you want to add to it? The chat's dying, the fire's dying.
I know you end on the hot girls are waiting. Hard to
I guess that was it is hard to finish up. Or maybe we lost some audience to it.
watching views dip. Yeah, no, it was one of those things. As odd as it sounds, I not necessarily felt like an outsider coming in, but everyone in this group is well established in some way in the cybersecurity community. And if you look into my history, I'm not directly involved with cybersecurity. I'm infrastructure, I'm MSP. So like there is, you can't do that without cybersecurity. But there, I wasn't about to come up onto a stage and start, practicing and preaching like raising the tide and stuff. We already got a Matt for that.
I know a guy that does that. He's really tough too.
I know a Matt, yeah. So joining the group was almost like, oh man, do I fit in here? Is this like imposter syndrome? Which the irony being in the MSP industry and imposter syndrome being a thing, like we thrive on that. But after a while, kind of talking to the group, working with people, and that hodgepodge of idiots chats, I felt like I had a place. And to kind of see it finally land and finally hit, I'm really excited to be in Florida this week and just to go for dinner and just to meet the 15, 16 other people we've been chatting with this whole time.
You know what's? I want to add to that real quick, but you keep going. I got a real thought for this for my.
No, it's an amazing thing to be a part of. And I got joked about like, I just threw my hat in the ring earlier, and Carrie latched on and put me on a list. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm in this thing. And I remember telling my wife, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to shave my beard. And if we raise $100,000, she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And then that was it. Sure. And then every week, it's like, oh, we're at 55. And my in-laws are there. My kids are like, oh, we got $25,000. I'm excited. I'm like, we're getting there. We got it. And the next day, we're at 125. And she's like, okay, yeah, cool. It's like, no, I'm excited about this now. And it was really starting to come through. And I think she sees that near the end. I honestly think she's acting that way because she does not like me baby faced. She likes the beard. I think my daughter hasn't had formative memories with me without it. I think my son saw me once and he was just stared at me. So I'm going to leave for Florida and come back without one. So
that's horrifying. Well, one of the things that I'll touch on that actually just triggers me pretty heavily is like imposter syndrome. While it's healthy, I think in the way of understanding your limitations, being critical of your own work, being humble about finding problems with what you've made in the past, being transparent about your growth and opportunities. But if you step away from that and you find this, I don't know if I should be there. There's so many well-established people. One of the coolest thing I find about getting older every day is there haven't been many moments that I've found where people don't belong. In fact, most humans you ever talk to feel like they're also in the same boat. They're also trying to drive through the same sea. They're also trying to figure out their own place. And I think the sweet irony in that is that, imposter syndrome itself is probably a barrier to most people's willing to stretch their dreams and grow and be better. Rich dad, poor dad matters for a reason. And I think when you look at some of the charities we picked, they were to try to change that same belief for people in cybersecurity. I'm Black. I probably don't belong in cybersecurity. I'm a woman. I probably don't have a place in a high-level position. That has to go away. And so I think what's great about that story, like to me personally, is it kind of echoes what I'm hoping to build in general.
The irony
I'm
is
just like you. So
I spend a lot of time talking to old coworkers, being like, yeah, you're smarter than you think. Like, you think you messed up, or this rebuild took you 6 hours and the other guy did it in 4. I'm like, yeah, but you're like one of maybe 40 people that I know that can do that. And like, while that sounds like a lot of them, I know a lot of people, right? So it's like you have a skill set.
And if I need that skill set, you're the most valuable human I've ever met. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's just put it in perspective that not killing your options by being exclusive is a good move in general. So
I saw like a small story. Like I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day, and I was trying to explain to him just a Pi hole. I have a Raspberry Pi hole just pulling in DNS records,
for
like
DNS and yeah.
And so he's on his phone on my Wi-Fi, and he's like, "Oh, like this doesn't work." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a Pi hole." And as I explain it to him, his eyes gloss over, and he goes, "I have no idea what you just said to me." And I have
it's only because he's picturing Homer Simpson with a pie, and he's like, I got a pie hole.
And like he's a smart guy, but like
that's fair.
Not in the industry, right? So when you drop what I take as common knowledge, because we swim and we live it every day, and that's usually how I kind of write myself for imposter syndrome a lot of times.
Well, fair, brother. Well,
Yes,
I appreciate you
amazing trip.
being here, and you will be a beard-wearing imposter as of Friday for sure. So I
Find my
look
beard
forward
hat.
to seeing you. All right, brother. Well, listen, we got Jason Slagle in the house, Mr. Beard Victim number 17 at the very end of it on Friday. Man, welcome, brother. We're closing it out. We're getting
It's
towards
fine.
the end of it, but
Yeah, I just finished packing, so.
yeah. We were all talking about that. I've got two of well, they can't see it anymore, but I've got two of my big stickered cases with 140 pounds of gear. I do have a pedestal ready for your camera if you would like to use it. You just
I
need to
did
bring
not.
your own HDMA.
I am
Okay.
probably not bringing it. I'm not
Okay.
in the car.
No worries, brother. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm gonna ask everybody else to close out. Matt, thank you for being here. We're gonna get towards the end of this. Adam, we're gonna go to you. Jay, and then Slagle. What we're gonna do? Fair. It's not wrong. But Slagle will come to you. We're talking about like kind of last thoughts on being involved in this beard shave. You know, what did it mean to you? What were the things you got out of it? How did you feel about it? But Adam, let's go to you next, brother. Go ahead and kind of close us out on your thoughts before we wrap this thing up, because I got another beer to get, and my wife seems to have not refilled it for me. I haven't asked her. So.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm almost done with my drink too. No, this has been a crazy, wild, fun ride, and with a lovely hodgepodge of idiots that I'm very honored and humbled to be a part of. And I think my favorite thing that's coming away from this is just keeping an eye on like the GoFundMe donations and seeing all these names of all these vendors that we've known about in the space for years coming up and just being a part of this and trying to do some good out there.
Yeah.
And
Cyber Fox just jumped in. Quick Pass just jumped in.
Yep, and it has been fun to turn the tables on the vendors for a change. Every time I get that random cold call email, it's yeah, I've heard about your product, but if you heard about this beard shave venture that we're doing.
You were that guy. You hit that so hard throughout this whole event. Like you have been the random. Oh, thanks for calling about this. I'd love to buy your product. Can we talk?
Yeah, you want to schedule 5 minutes with me? You got to toss a couple bucks over towards the venture. So
I'm watching the page. I'm not going to take your call until you show up.
Yeah. I will wait for the name. Well, and next year, that is one of the things I meant to add as well, is that ConnectWise already has a platform they are paying for this that would make matriculation of this significantly better than GoFundMe. We probably lost about $10,000 in donations to GoFundMe, rejecting them, not taking the credit card, Ghost taking the credit card and then not taking the payment somehow, not showing up, returning payments. It's been just, you know, God bless our hearts. And then the security side of it, Slagle, when you go into GoFundMe, it has to hand off to another platform to validate you. In the initial handshake to that secondary platform, there are 62 API failures that show up in an F12, just on initial inspection.
Oh, I hope you're not in Missouri.
Oh, right. We're not allowed to press F12 in Missouri, but I was luckily doing this on the Kansas state of the line, so we're in good shape. But it's crazy. Anyways, Adam, so I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of this, and I think you're shaving on Thursday, correct? So you'll be part of the live stream on Thursday. What are you going to do about your beard? You growing it back or not?
Yeah, I'll grow it back. This all came of just being very lazy for a very long period of time. So why mess with a good thing?
I won't tell Bob that I just aided your laziness in beard facial maintenance in some form or fashion. So
if I don't have to spend the time to
Bob's back. Oh God, he just popped back into existence the minute his employee brought up something that might be negative for him.
I heartily endorse lazy beards.
Okay, fair. All right, touche. Fair enough. Adam, thanks for joining us. We're really past time. I want to be respectful of everybody watching, although there's quite a few still on. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And I feel like I've gotten to know you. We've had some great conversations since then. We've done a beard banter. Been a glorious run getting to know you over the last 6 months. Thank you for participating. I really appreciate it. And the shirt is dope. That shirt is super dope. So, all right, let's do it. Mr. Jason, what am I even doing here, Slagle? Tell me about your journey. How'd this go for you? Like, what brought you? You said no like 7 times.
I didn't really say no. So see, I was smart enough to realize that that there is an underlying current of Carrie just not liking beards.
True story.
Right.
True story. I feel that in my heart.
This is so while we are supporting good, it is
disingenuous.
It has a side effect of she hates beards. So
Sure.
I gotta, as long as we figure out some way to make her remember, then we'll all be okay. I actually said no, I think twice. I think I offered up the ponytail.
Yeah, but I'm hyperbolous,
yeah,
Jason. I'm a
it's
little
fine.
bit of
And then she's like, "There's got to be a number," and I'm like, we can really raise 100K. Like, what am I, an asshole? Like, of course, I'm gonna shave my beard. I mean,
yeah, true story. And we have done that. We've
have.
actually hit 130 something thousand now because Quick Pass came in today. Bellini from CyberFox came in. Like, we're gonna do a big kind of thank you for everybody, and we'll continue this. I'll try to make value for everybody that's helped out and get their name out there. But yeah, it's definitely gotten to the point. I don't think I would have never believed we were gonna get there.
No.
Not as an actuality like this, because we're really probably at 200,000 in kind. If you get done with all the parties that helped and all the time and all the effort, the legal advice, the things that got donated, like, this is over 200,000. But from a raw benefit to charity, we're at $130,000.
So 200,000 is the budget of probably many of these at least the smaller charities that we're donating to, right? Like, I imagine just knowing what like Bike MS that we're going to do next year raises, and knowing what
the hard flex from my son in the background. Sorry.
Other things raise. I gotta imagine that, like, we've literally raised the year operating budget of some of these smaller charities at this point.
Yeah. Like Kyla, who runs Bits and Bytes. I didn't know this. Has anybody gone back and watched her TED Talk? You should. She at 13 did a TEDx talk about disinformation and 8th graders and why they need to be educated around cyber, and like
I feel like 8th graders are all disinformation. I mean, my 5th grader is, so I can't imagine that gets better.
It doesn't. It probably doesn't. But at least understanding it means they'll use the campaigns effectively with their parents, right? Like they'll have a better grasp of understanding disinformation campaigns. But joking aside, no, man. Slagle, so thank you for being here. You know, you were one of those headliner personalities, right? Everybody knows you. Everybody understands what you're about. I don't know how that's worked out that way. Same thing for me, but I can't say thank you enough, man. It's kind of one of those things where this is a beautiful effort, and I really appreciate you helping me out with this. And just wanted to say thank you and take the time to do it. And I got a challenge coin with your name on it, so
cool.
Appreciate you.
I'll probably see you tomorrow or the next day.
I got to go to Miami first. I'm going to go do the Cyber Summit, and then I'll be up. So, George Bardisi, you got us over the 100,000. It's only fair that you close us out. You finish these words up, and we'll press the button. We'll end this stream. And thank y'all for everybody that watched. I think there was like 140 different participants that have joined in so far on the stats I can see. So, thank y'all for being here and watching and participating, donating, and watch us, do something awkward so that we can do good for others. George, close us out.
I'll keep it simple, guys. The best part of this upcoming week is, I mean, listen, I'm sure there's a bunch of great content. There's a bunch of great things to do. Really, it's about the community, right? The conversations in the hallways, at night, at the bar, at the whatever, right? Like, that's where real learning happens, right? That's where real relationships are actually created. So now this in between all of that is just like really cool, right? And it's like super glue, kind of bond everyone together. But if you're coming into Florida this upcoming week, take the time to get outside of your shell, have conversations that you may be uncomfortable to have, meet new people from all over the world, and just put yourself out there, okay? Put yourself out there. I promise it will pay back in dividends. And then, figure out where the barbershop is on site and come heckle these guys. Come on.
I would definitely second the heckling aspect of this.
So would I.
So, Kat, you can't hear anybody on this. No. So this is the worst. But this is my wife, Kat. We've been married over 20 years. She is the supportive glue that keeps me from blowing up and exploding as a human. But just wanted, Bob even came back. So, Kat, you want to close us out? What was your experience like of being involved in this beard shave? What are your thoughts? Putting you on the spot. You made a mistake showing up.
Dude.
What do you think about me losing my beard?
I'm okay with it.
That's a fair
I have
statement.
come to terms.
What about the last 4 days with me?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it hadn't been a love story, unfortunately. But I'm not coping well with losing my beard. So.
Has she seen your chin before?
She's seen my chin now, albeit, Bob, there was a more stretched mechanic that used to exist that seems to be failing in the later years and models here. It seems to be less stretched over the fabric space, if you will. Like
Engineered
if it
for
was an
failure.
airplane, yeah. She has. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. More importantly, thanks for helping us do this great thing. And really just love y'all. Thanks. See you, everybody.
See ya.